That's right.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. This is a good luck episode, you guys.
Back again.
This is the most good luckiest episode.
Luck.
Oh, hey, on the game with the
Always,
fade.
always super
That's
punctual.
right.
What up?
Yeah. Hey, everybody. It's the Greasy Conversation Talk Show on Radio Vegas.
Oh, you thought we were done?
.rocks. Oops. Sneaking a little extra intro.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You know,
It's just that kind of day.
Psych.
there's like a hidden subtext to this episode that is, I forgot my AC adapter to my laptop, so I had to grab another computer in the studio and like make it do all this stuff.
And you would not like believe how much extra work that one AC adapter cost.
You wouldn't believe.
Insane.
Like forgetting that small little piece of the puzzle. Just,
Yeah, I didn't have time to put the driver in the button pad fella, which is called a Novation launch pad for those inside baseball people. So we got Greg on the triggering of the clippies.
Clips.
Yeah.
That was actually for once.
Oh, hey, and I can show you us now. Look, that's us. That was enough intro screen time. And also, hey, throw some love at our YouTubes. It's really hard to get YouTube subscribers when you launch everything on Facebook like we did. So if you can toss a sub to Greasy Conversation and Radio Vegas Rocks, all one word, it'd really help us out. In the meantime, I'd be amiss if I didn't mention that RadioVegas.rocks has an app. You might have heard of it, but you might not have heard that if you get it and register on it, we're not going to bug you until we let you know that you may have won. And if you've won, because you're likely to, it's possible, win Aerosmith tickets.
What?
We're
Very
giving
true.
away the best giveaway we've ever had, the most thorough, most giveaway-ly giveaway, is these VIP Aerosmith tickets where you're like up there with them. You're like hanging out. It's VIP-ly. So,
Viply.
yeah. This is the time when I hit some buttons randomly.
Zwing. You just say button and I'll make a sound. And no.
Fail.
This is like one of the only few sound effects I have. So.
We
So
have
we
the
got to
row of those rows. Those 3 rows.
Oh yeah.
Those
gotcha,
are where the
okay.
juice
We
is.
you labeled them a while ago and then didn't label them because then it was just like this one's called
Yeah.
like furious door slam in the wind.
And there's like swooshy whoosh whistle.
Yeah.
Angry train.
And then like that whole episode was just like, what are all the stingers called?
Yeah, and then I had to move it to another computer, and it was a different Ableton version. It wouldn't load the one where I named everything, so it was
It's
hopeless.
like screw all that.
But you guys can learn and grow with us. You can follow along on the adventure. You can even see our show notes that we're going to look at and peruse with you. Whee! These are linked at woz.lol or just greasyconversation.com for this episode. Party in with us.
All right, let's see if we can find that submarine of knowledge.
Yeah, it's the top middle.
Whoa.
It's the top middle.
Oh, I was trying to search for it.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, submarine of knowledge.
Yeah, so let's dive in. Now we got our bearings. So now everything
Submarine of
is,
knowledge.
We're in the submarine of knowledge. Everything is right in the world.
That was saucy.
Yeah, that was a bit of a rushed echo time.
All right. So
Knowledge.
let's just
I can't help but laugh. Sorry. Okay.
No, that's
All
what
right.
it's for. We're not doing this for not fun.
yeah.
Well,
very
it's fun. I dig it.
All right, so let's just jump in. We got some crazy news stories, got some interesting stuff. But on Wednesday, a train derailed in our very own Elko, Nevada, wherever the fuck that is. It's somewhere
It's
between
near here.
it's somewhere between here and that other place you're trying to go. You just have to drive by signs that say this way to Elko.
It's within grenade and bomb range.
Yeah, so this train derailed, 22 cars derailed, but it was
It's within bomb range.
transporting bombs, grenades, ammonium nitrate, which isn't like really deadly, but it isn't pleasant if it like gets on your skin.
And aluminum oxide. If you see all that white powder that's all over everywhere, that's aluminum oxide. And I actually looked up some of the stuff that's used for. It's mixed with paint to give like a shimmery, sparkly effect. It's used for in some makeup for that reason. It's used as an insulator. It's just a form of aluminum.
But it's not hazardous.
It's not very hazardous. You shouldn't breathe it in, but like people can clean it up without
Yeah, but I think it's probably like concentrated. I imagine being transported, so it's probably not like good, but hopefully no. I don't imagine people are just like hanging around like train tracks getting like shit spilled on them when there's a derailment.
Poosh. That's where that comes in.
I feel really bad for you if you're anywhere near this train. You are not up to anything fun. You are not having a good day.
No.
No one wants to be in the middle of Elko, Nevada. Sorry, Elko.
No, and
Not
then
at
I
all.
saw like someone, like one of my friends just posted something on Facebook. Like they actually had a package en route that was on this train.
No.
That got delayed. Yeah, they got delayed because of the train.
Well, at least they know where it's at.
Yeah, right.
I hope
I'm
it
like,
wasn't
why?
stored near the grenades and
No,
bombs. on this
yeah,
train.
right. I hope not.
Supposedly, the grenades and bombs that were traveling on this train were not on the same part of the train that derailed.
Oh, okay.
Close
Gotcha.
call.
Yeah, that's the thing about like these articles. They aren't always clear about that, and I think the one I pulled,
I had to dig in. Yeah.
it wasn't very clear. And then just like bits I heard about weren't very clear as well. They're just like, train loaded with munitions blows up.
Sounds
Like-
good.
You're like that didn't happen.
Blow
guys."
up stuff went everywhere.
Yeah.
Things were super blow uppy.
Super boom boom time.
We all almost blew up.
Right.
See, this is a good luck episode.
Yeah, totally.
Super-
We
Boom,
didn't
boom.
blow up, right?
Yeah, no one spontaneously combusted yet.
If you're tuning
always
in
a
on
good
this
sign.
one, you're tuning
Miraculously.
in to like the luckiest episode we've probably ever had.
I love luck.
Nothing's not lucky on this episode. Yeah.
Just randomly.
Wait a minute.
right.
Why didn't I hear that in the headphones? The kaboominess.
Uh-oh.
Give me one more kaboom. Let's double check.
Maybe I turned it down a little.
Oh no, it's in there. It's just a
Yeah.
little weak. It's not the strongest kaboom, but she's there.
All right.
As long as they heard the intro song. If we had to start all over if they didn't hear the intro music.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
Lord
yeah.
knows that's a once in a lifetime experience there.
Absolute.
That doesn't happen every time.
Nope.
All right. And then this story, man,
We're
you
chugging.
just sometimes you just can't believe shit that happens, right? And also, in my favorite category of news,
Try me. I'm super good at believing stuff.
meth news.
Oh yeah, this one's so in your category.
This
is the
this
ultimate
week-
example.
This week in meth news.
I was on last time when there was meth news.
Yeah.
You mean every time?
Since meth news has been a thing. I
That
always
was
try to-
episode 3, by the way. Was the last time you
Yeah.
heard. If you're looking for the other, this season, episode 3.
Dang.
So this
Yeah.
takes place in Limestone County, Alabama.
course.
Alabama.
Nothing. No shortage of Alabama news.
Yeah. And authorities arrested a man and were looking for his partner in crime after they found meth, other drug paraphernalia, because of course, body armor, and most importantly, an attack squirrel.
These
Oh,
pictures.
yes.
Dude, these guys were like keeping a little squirrel locked up in his little cage, feeding it meth and keeping it as an attack squirrel. Now, if they were doing any training for the squirrel, I don't know. It's not really clear. But just that they thought it was an attack squirrel. So
Yeah.
whether it actually was an attack squirrel, we may never know.
Whether this squirrel could really fend off a good solid kick, because I feel like I could aim a good kick at it. Because you have the intensity of the meth, but that disorganized thought.
It's just going to piss it off. It's going to come back.
That disorganized thought's a bitch. That squirrel's gonna think one way and then move another, and then run in a circle and just gonna forget where it was going, and just like that's plenty of time to kick it.
Yeah, because squirrels already
Right.
do that. And like, look, if you don't have food in your hand for a squirrel, like it's already an attack squirrel. But, you know?
That's true.
Like it's just when I was a kid, we went to visit like some family, some like small wooded area in Texas, like next to a lake, my great grandparents or something, and my dad's out back in the day with the old video camera, you know, and there's all these like squirrels around, and they've been living around people so long that they're comfortable with people, and they'll like come up and take food out of your hand. So he tries to feed it like an acorn or something. And the next thing he knows, like the squirrel latched on his finger and it's just hanging off and he's flinging it like this. And it was like a cartoon, like where something bites someone's finger and they're just flinging it up and down. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. But
I've
same
had that
squirrel.
experience with an alligator lizard.
What?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you said they look like little bananas,
You would, was. Good Lord.
and then you're like, well, the little mouth's only the size of my finger. How can it?
Let's check you out.
Yeah, it didn't. It didn't
What's the
bleed
worst that can
much.
happen?
You know, you're only gonna have an open wound on something that harbors salmonella.
Yeah, right.
You're
Yeah.
just supposed to wash your hands after you handle lizards because they can just
The old reptiles.
salmonella you up.
I mean, these dudes. I mean, do these guys
No one
look
needs
like
that.
what goes? Man, like, what was the thought process for these guys to not want to just get like a dog and attack, like, make an attack dog or something? You know, like
Yeah,
just get
why
it.
the squirrel? Why did they go there?
They're like, no, man, the dog's too obvious, man.
Dog
See,
doesn't
the
fit in your pockets as
see, the
good.
CIA can hear
Yeah.
the dog through the bugs,
Through the
right? But they
bugs.
can't hear the squirrel.
This is that disorganized thought.
Yeah.
Because they go around like, the squirrel's cute and it can go in my pocket. But there's pocket dogs that already attack people right away, too.
Pocket
yeah,
dogs,
but the way their
yes.
legs don't fold, I mean, their legs are all awkward. They don't quite go in a pocket. It's more like a dog swing. And the squirrel's just cute. But so the cute's a goal, but I need that attacking. And it's just this circular, disorganized thought loop that's like why you don't have like a lot of success revolving around meth.
Yeah,
not like-
yeah.
Like some forms
Success with meth.
like Adderall, some people might do like the corporate thing, or like EMTs might roll with that for a minute. But that's a way more balanced set of two chemical actors in the brain that usually go next to each other. Where meth will just slam the hell out of one of them, leaving the other one just dangling and
Yeah,
confused.
yeah. There's a huge difference. Yeah.
Yeah, you
It's
can
true.
fall into like a weird twitchy nap on meth. It's flailing around, napping, and like talking to people and stuff. It's ridiculous.
I would not know that.
Then,
so-
then your teeth fall out.
Well, you don't want that.
They at least get loose. If you don't do
Yeah.
it long enough for them to fall out, they're not going to like stay in there well. Even
Get
if you brush your
loose.
teeth a lot.
The thing that most people don't know is that they actually don't get loose by the effects of meth, but it's actually that once you start doing meth, the CIA starts tracking you, and they break into your apartment when you sleep, and they loosen your teeth little by little over time.
Yeah. They climb
At
in
least
there.
that was my experience.
Oh my gosh.
So
I don't
good.
know about y'all, but CIA's definitely been stealing my teeth.
CIA been stealing my teeth.
Who's the real tooth fairies?
Okay, that's a button. CIA's been stealing my teeth.
New stinger.
Give me one.
Nice.
No,
Uh,
Craig, you have to give me
oh.
one or I'm going to be sad. Yes.
Nice.
Still not convinced that broadcast. I heard it on this speaker and not on my. Can you give me one more just to make sure it's really going in headphone town? Yeah, yeah.
It's there now.
That's right. Now we have a show. Hear that suspense. Oh,
Yeah.
all right. It's like a blanket made of tunes, made of broadcasting. Yeah, it's my blanket made of airwaves.
All right, so
Yeah, you guys, broadcast fever.
yeah,
Everybody broadcast.
Just broadcast anything. So this,
You're like the lowest key hype man. You're like, yeah,
Just
Yeah.
broadcast something.
yeah, you know,
yo, what he said.
do it or not. Eh.
It's the best like type of hype man.
Right.
It's like
Eh.
that new low key generation. You know, because the kids they're like, oh, that's chill. Like chill is the new cool.
Yeah.
And like low key, people will be like, oh, it's low key, awesome. I mean, it's like really awesome, but it's not all making a big deal about it. So that's like the new hype man is like, yeah, you can probably do that.
Like, yeah, that's cool, bro.
That's the new hype.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right,
Nailed
so
it.
then we got this is just a great article about troubleshooting for these GE bulbs.
Oh,
So I had no idea that it was a thing.
wait, I have to quick say the attack squirrel. That was an Ange Kerfoot news contribution.
Yeah.
But this GE light bulb is pure me. I have to show you guys the process for resetting your GE light bulb. And it's not to say that we shouldn't all jump on the smart light bandwagon and have all our light bulbs on the internet so that people
Really?
can
It's-
hack our Leckinet light. But do you want to read the instructions, Jordan?
Yes.
Step 1.
Seriously, step 1 is just turn on for 8 seconds.
Sit there. 1 Mississippi. In the instructions, they tell you to use the Mississippi method. Count 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. What's step 2?
Turn off for 2 seconds.
All right, now we've made it past, what's step 3?
Turn on for 8 seconds.
Is step 4 similar to step 2?
Turn off for 2 seconds.
Yeah, it looks like the same as step 2. How many total steps do we have?
Friggin' 11.
And they're literally all the same thing. It just
It is-
alternates.
Ridiculous.
What's better yet is that's after a firmware update. The old version had 13 steps.
So it's just 2 extra turn on for 8 seconds too.
No, you wouldn't know whether the first turn on is 8 seconds. All the next turn ons are
Wait a
2
second.
seconds, except for the last 2, which are 8.
If you actually look further, there's actually 13 of them now.
Yeah.
Wait a second. It was 11 at start, and now we're on to 13. See?
Yeah, that's the old version. They improved it.
Oh, so they cut 2 steps.
They cut 2 steps.
You motherfuckers.
And they made all the turn-ons 8 seconds, so that it would take you like an hour and a half to get your bulb reset.
This is the most ridiculous thing I've
A
ever
smart
heard.
bulb.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
guys.
it's so freaking smart.
I'm gonna get a job resetting people's smart bulbs.
Wicked smart.
And just
Yeah,
charge by
make
the
them
hour.
wicked fast. Then you might have make some cash.
You have how many bulbs in your house? It takes how long to reset each one?
Good lord.
This is a light bulb.
Be
like-
here till.
What does this protect you from? Is this whole process so that your light bulb doesn't turn into a Russian spy? Like what?
Of course it
Is there
is.
microphones in this light bulb? Why?
But I mean, our
Big
government's
Brother.
already spying on us through the light bulbs, so you know,
Light bulbs are listening.
it's true.
That was good.
Yeah, grab that orange lever whenever you feel like it.
I know you were telling me about that the other day. It does work.
Yeah, you're using it in the other room. It's addictive, right?
Well, I haven't used it. No, I've
Oh.
at some points I think I was messing with it. And like,
Tune
oh,
in-
this is what this does. But
Tune in to Faded and Elevated, you guys. Who's gonna bust out that echo? When
Oh.
shout out your show times real quick.
yeah, we got Saturday 4 p.m. and Mondays at 1.
And if you forget, you can go to radiovegas.rocks and check out the schedule page where there's a ton of rad shows for you to check out. For example, Two Clueless Dudes, you can check out at twocluelessdudes.com. Viva Ska Radio, which you were just up into a chunk of that a minute ago if you're on radiovegas.rocks. It's a good time. There's a ton of them. There's the new World Ghost radio show
Love it.
that just premiered, and there's an episode of that on YouTube right now if you go to the radiovegas.com. Radio Vegas Rocks, all one word, YouTube.
And I also have a page, y'all, at Faded and Elevated, and also my group, #Funky Fresh Posse, and that is with a PH.
I think we got to do our first commercial chug.
Commercial chug.
Yes.
Beef jerky that you get at your local convenience store? Well, stress no more. Introducing Hangover Joe's, a brand that carries a
Huh.
full line of
I was like, what is
It's
beef?
new.
I was like, what is
brisket
beef
jerky?
have to do
H.
with
Joe
that?
takes pride in making gourmet style, high quality, tender cut jerky products. That's why H. Joe has successfully refined the process of making beef jerky, making sure you receive only the highest quality USA beef jerky on the market today. Featuring 8 original flavors, H. Joe uses a blended marinade of alcohol and spices which brings out the distinctive flavors of our beef jerky. After just one bite, you'll know that this is not like any other brand on the market. This is not your father or grandfather's beef jerky. You will love the quality of our jerky, and you will love its outstanding gourmet flavors. H. Joe Beef Jerky is absolutely jerkylicious.
Cold Cock American Herbal Whiskey, a proud sponsor of RadioVegas.rocks. Enjoy responsibly.
Hey, RadioVegas.rocks listeners, I'm sure you've heard by now that if you download the free RadioVegas.rocks app and register it, you have a chance of winning 2 VIP tickets to the hottest residency in town, Aerosmith. That's right, these 2 VIP tickets will put you on stage with the band. It also includes 2 round-trip tickets and a 3-day, 2-night stay to see one of the greatest rock bands ever. Just download the app, register to win, share it with your friends, and you may see Aerosmith in Las Vegas on November 21st. For more details, just visit RadioVegas.rocks. Don't wait too long, do it now.
Hello, everybody. This is DJ Fade from Faded and Elevated, and I am so excited to talk to you guys about Deluxe Cleaning Service. Yeah, that's right. Miss Blanca Lopez, she is the cat's meow, y'all. She comes to your house. She comes to your office. She comes wherever you need her to go, and she cleans that sucker up like it's never been cleaned before. Yeah, that's right. She will come absolutely anywhere. Wherever you need her, she's there to keep you clean in the deluxe way.
And we're back.
We're
That's
back.
right. You guys, it's I was in the bathroom and there's dude products there.
Oh,
Guys,
yeah.
wipe your dude.
Wipe your dude.
Yeah.
Got to do it.
Welcome back. It's Greasy Conversation on RadioVegas.rocks. You know, we're not to
True
be
statement.
stopped. We're freaking unstoppable. We would do this on our phone if we had to. And in fact, I wanted to mention that we used to do that in the car. We used to mount a phone in the car. And if you look up hashtag drive home live, you can see like we had like, it was like 100 episodes.
Yeah, we did quite a few.
Of us doing the beginning of this format in the car.
Which I love.
Yeah.
Good time.
So fun.
Thanks. That was the origin story of this here.
I think you need to do like a
Podcast.
throwback at some point
Yeah, right? Drive home live.
on an anniversary or something.
Redux.
On your Annie.
But with like all the equipment in the car.
all this.
All
in the
this,
car.
just like in the car.
It would be awesome. You should do actually a photo shoot that way. It would be hilarious.
That's a really good idea.
That is.
You're
photo shoot
welcome.
would be
I come with
funny.
all the good ideas.
I'm like bathing in Cat 5 right now. I'm sorry, Cat 5e. We're like, we're blinging here.
Blinging.
Cat 5, shit's Cat 6. Look out.
Cat. See, it is the cat's meow.
At 5.5.
Swing, swing, swung.
Oh man, see that's worth a kaslammy.
Kaslam.
Oh yeah. I'm not on them because I got to switch between.
Oh, the news situation
Yeah.
in the kaslammies.
I'll try. All right. So on Amazon Prime has released a show about this novel written by Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett called Good Omens, about an angel and a demon joining forces to stop the Antichrist from coming about, thus preventing the apocalypse, right?
One of my mom's favorite books, and a cousin of mine too. They talked about it all the time when this book was hip. It's just a legendary book.
Yeah, I haven't read it. I've always, it's in like the big list of books that I've always
Yeah.
wanted to read and just haven't yet. Because that's how life is sometimes, folks. But anyway, so the show's debuted on Amazon Prime recently, and a group of 20,000 Christians started a petition calling for the cancellation of Good Omens.
I won't say that 20,000 started it, but 20,000 people signed this
Eventually,
petition.
yeah.
Petition, and it just shows how much people will sign a petition not knowing anything about what they're signing.
Exactly.
Yeah, and the key thing is that they were petitioning for Netflix to cancel the series.
Yeah.
Yeah, Netflix did not have this show.
Yeah.
Because it was mocking God's wisdom.
That
Or
wisdom though.
but
they don't have the wisdom to see what network or like platform is even showing this.
Well,
Yeah.
but first of all, who doesn't like Frances McDormand? Okay, anything she's in is fantastic. So
and David Tennant, like as
Good.
a demon, like
I
come
think
on,
it's
yeah.
great.
They
You
should
know
be
what?
like,
I'm
thanks for the demon awareness.
Ridiculous. Just go read the Bible more. It'll be better.
Yeah, and I
Stop
guess
wasting time.
yeah, and like one of the supporters have signed a petition in which they say that Good Omens is, quote, another step to make Satanism appear normal, light, and acceptable.
Yeah, I don't want to mock Christianity per se, but I do want to mock the concept of petitioning against something that you obviously have put zero effort into understanding.
Yeah.
Or
That's
even
the
like
whole
looking
point.
at one episode of. If you don't even know what platform it's on.
They may,
Yeah, or like maybe the story like has a good message, like a demon helping an angel to prevent the apocalypse.
Ooh,
Oh, I mean, hey, like
Oh,
could be
and-
some interesting concepts nestled in there.
Redemption
Yeah.
of something perceived as evil, like maybe Mary Magdalene. I don't know. It's like
isn't God's forgiveness like boundless? Like,
Yeah.
can't he forgive anyone if he decided to? God can do anything, right?
Yes.
Like,
didn't Jesus kick it with the sinners and the people that needed help with stuff?
yeah.
He
no,
wasn't
that
with
was you're thinking of poor Jesus, all right?
Oh, we're talking about that new age wealthy
we,
Jesus.
we got supply side Jesus now.
Supply side Jesus.
Like legit. If you have never seen the supply side Jesus comic, Google that shit. It's fucking
yes.
hilarious.
Please get that
I
trending
think
on
I think
Twitter.
it was I think it was Al Franken who like wrote it and had it
Supply side
cartoon.
G.
I think.
So good.
But yeah, it's really hilarious where like Jesus doesn't do anything for anyone because it doesn't help the
Yeah.
ownership class. It's pretty fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I love how everything spoken of by supply side economics people is all thought experiments and like how things should be. Meanwhile, every bit of research ever done into any application of supply side economics has proven it to be unsuccessful and not benefit anybody. Not even the corporations that like progress less because they coast more with the extra money.
Yeah. And like they could be making more by giving the people who spend all their money more money
Yeah.
to spend.
Right.
And it
But,
comes
you know.
back around when the consumers have money
Yeah.
to vote with their dollar.
But, you
the
know,
best
whatever.
corporations thrive. But you just throw it at the corporations and they just make
Hoard it all.
GM vehicles.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh man.
100%.
Enjoy your Chryslers, everybody.
All right. Where
Did
to-
Jesus drive a Chrysler, you think?
I don't want to talk badly about people that own Chryslers. I more want to be sympathetic.
Damn.
That was so sweetly savage.
Right? I mean it. I mean it nice.
Yes.
Yeah. That's that ominous. Oh, that really helps the ominous. And I'm like, yeah, ominousness.
Yeah.
Dig it. It's good though. We like it.
Yeah, we love that ominous excitement.
Uh-huh.
There's got to be some jock cheering about the yeah.
Yeah. So ominous, man.
Woo!
Let's do this.
Spooky dog.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh man. All right. So, I guess there has apparently been a spike in UFO sightings,
Ooh.
which has sparked a major government response, being that the more and more Navy pilots have been reporting UFO sightings. So it actually the Pentagon and those in the know have had to brief the president and senior officials about these UFOs. And right off the bat, anytime you mention a UFO, everyone assumes you're talking about an alien.
Like right away.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
like-
there's never been more experimental aircrafts that are unmanned flying
Yeah,
around.
right, like-
And plus, public people. Everyone can make their own drone.
Yeah.
They can make a drone with like 12 rotors on it if they want. You can make a drone shaped like a giant floating alien wiener, and it's just the
Surprised
text there.
someone
never know.
hasn't.
It
Yeah.
costs less than a Hyundai Accent. So it's like there's UFOs all over the place.
Yeah.
That's very true, Oz. That's a
So,
really good way to look at it.
UFO, if we just look back to what
What it
that
actually
means.
stands for.
Unidentified flying object, not unidentified alien
object.
object or anything like that. I mean, some of them might be
Yeah.
piloted by aliens. We don't know because they're unidentified. That's what the U stands for.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I had no idea.
I know.
And meanwhile,
Thank you for clarifying.
there's new policies as far as reporting too. I've heard they've just generally opened channels for reportings, so there's less stigma to military people reporting UFOs.
Yeah.
But I mean, if
I
you've
mean,
got a
there-
boring job and you're staring at the sky all the time, you're gonna see hella aliens.
Yeah. But there were like on any of the shows back that would like cover alien abductions or UFO sightings. There's some crazy like pilot, like listening back to pilots like talking between each other when they see one, and how they just like describe the movement, and they're like, nothing like we know of can move that way, and like where they're talking like just something just like stops
Yeah.
and then totally changes direction, like like nothing, or just like hovers like.
Well, they talked that like, okay, if someone was in there, they would have been totally squished by the G-forces. But
G-force.
there's no one inside a drone, so
Yeah, that's
it can
true.
have all the G's forever.
That's
It's
very true.
not
very
gonna-
true.
we can build things that survive the G's of leaving the atmosphere and re-entry and orbiting other planets and stuff. I mean, Voyager got slingshotted around a bunch of planets.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can handle this with our robots.
Nice.
We know how to-
Robots aren't aliens.
We know how to do shit. Not yet, they aren't.
Yeah, in fact, SETI, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, has reconsidered their whole strategy because there seems to be just such a lack of any intelligent pattern signals coming from nearby us enough. We've got to look further. But this shouldn't be surprising, given that we are in this one galaxy, and this galaxy is light years across, and it could take the entire evolution of our civilization from our first broadcasts of the Lucy show, that amount of time for that radio energy to travel. It's just that hasn't even left our galaxy yet. So someone could be on that phase at the other edge of the galaxy. We've got to wait not just for them to evolve, but for the light to get to us, for the radio frequencies to even get to us, even if they're accidental stuff. But then the width of our galaxy, it's hundreds of times that, thousands of times that to the next neighboring galaxies.
Okay.
So there's tons of empty space even between these Danishes in the sky, these cinnamon cake rolls that we're living in. It's just an unbelievable amount of space to try to peep through, to expect that. But then on the other hand, this is a fun bit of info that I feel like kind of got buried, that came back in the spotlight. Have you guys heard about Ceres?
Serious?
Not Sirius. Ceres? Okay, so there's this dwarf Ceres.
Okay.
It's this dwarf planet that is in the asteroid belt. It's the biggest asteroid in the asteroid belt, but it basically qualifies as a dwarf planet because it's around Pluto-sized-ish. So this fella, they've discovered organic molecules that have arisen on it, seemingly in the way they might have arisen on Earth. It doesn't seem like any asteroid or something else containing organic molecules has hit Ceres to place them there. But when you have the right compounds, and say you have warmth and mixing around, because there's got to be some kind of energy to let things organize if they're not able to move themselves, if they're not autonomous. And when proteins can form and things can form in chains, you have the opportunity for organic molecules to start to get some organization. And it takes a long time, but I've had a dish full of LEDs, and if I threw a button cell battery into that dish of LEDs, even though one side of the battery is much smaller than the other, and they have to hit both pins and not have both pins touch, and they have to be both pins in the right polarity, it would still, if I did it enough times, eventually light up an LED.
Yeah.
So like
Right.
any way that things can be organized in space will eventually happen given enough time and jostling. And so that process has happened enough on Ceres for there to be some organic molecules there, which just lends credence to the fact that another intelligent life could have spawned, or at least some cool like animals or something on some other planets. It's really not implausible, but what's difficult to comprehend is just the amount of space. So it's still more likely that nothing's visited us because of just how far it would have to travel. It doesn't mean that nothing's not out there.
Right.
That
Yeah,
nothing
yeah.
is out there, you know.
For sure.
Yeah, actually, there was this research. I can't remember his name because this was so long ago I read about this, but he was actually developing a theory where he was just basically extending the idea of like evolution just to inorganic matter, and just say like it's inevitable for any type of matter to eventually become more complex just because of how like matter joins together and operates, like how different elements will join together and make other elements and then create more complex structures, and you know. So
Totally.
like similar idea to evolution, but I mean maybe like thinking like that life is inevitable on other planets. It just may be like really hard to like cook up. You need certain circumstances. that we know about, but we might we don't know everything about it, obviously.
And it's not impossible, even though it's statistically less likely. It's not impossible that we're not first.
Yes.
It's true.
True.
Yeah.
It's a weird set of circumstances that led to us being the animal on this planet that values the prediction of the future so much more than other animals. So much that a greater percentage of our brain is born blank, and we have to spend a greater period of our lives being trained rather than dealing with instinctual knowledge that's less flexible of any other animal. That's probably the biggest difference.
For sure.
Yeah, slammy.
Deepness.
Boom.
Dig it. Nice job.
Yeah, we're trying to learn. If you're not learning on this show, then totally stay tuned, because we're going to make a learning happen if it's the end of us. Gosh darn it, we're going to learn so hard.
Well, don't they say if you're not learning, you're dead?
Whoa. I really think that a lot of the research into Alzheimer's and dementia in general, I mean, of course, there's things that can affect you chemically and degenerative genetic things, but especially dementia, if you're continuously learning things and taking on new challenges, or at least playing games that challenge different parts of your brain, it really staves off dementia. It's like a use it or lose it thing.
Got it.
Sudoku.
Yeah.
Yo, Sudoku is like #1 game for like fighting off like dementia and Alzheimer's.
I feel
Can't
like
do
you
it now.
could
Won't be able to do it then.
I feel like
nor ever.
if an old person just like was
my
Sudoku
my grandma loved Sudoku, and she died of Alzheimer's. It's just funny.
Oh yeah, well, I feel like there's a conversational or like social element missing from Sudoku, where if you just did Sudoku to stave off Alzheimer's in your retirement, you might not be like fun to talk to.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have like conversational skills. I feel like would degrade. So I mean, I think that's something to do too. You have to stay social. The old people that seem young are just taking on challenges and doing things that a young person would be brave enough to do. And the old people that seem old are the ones that are like, I don't like, what are these people doing this for? Blah, complain. And I'm not trying any of this. Nothing tastes good. Nothing feels good. I don't know. I'm exaggerating now. Thanks, Jim, for hollering in.
All right. We got this is an interesting study that came out. So the question is, if you found a random wallet or a purse or something that had everyone's IDs in it, all that, and some cash, would you return it? Would you take the money and say that you found the wallet without the money in it?
Interesting question.
Right? So, and, generally the idea is like if someone finds a wallet with a large amount of money in it, you'd probably keep it,
No.
It depends on how much identification I could find in it. If I could get a hold of the person, I would, I'd chat with them about it. I'd ask them for some of it.
Yeah, so
I'm
this
not being
Finder's
that,
fee.
like, hey, if there's a bunch, if there's like $3 in it, I'm like, I'll feel bad for him, but it's like,
I think
but
you
you
should
would
always give it back if you can.
yeah, so
at
Always.
least offer it back. At least like,
Yeah.
here's this.
And definitely don't take anything that's not
but
yours.
generally when you think of like
You don't want that to
just
happen to you.
Generally, do you think people would take the money?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Okay.
I think most probably would. If not, some.
Yeah, I don't
Right.
mean to derail your premise. You're totally right.
No,
Most
no,
would
no.
just take it.
But that's the interesting thing about the study
Is that not true?
they found that people are more prone to turn in a wallet when it has more money in it.
So the more money in it, the more likely they are to feel bad and turn it in?
Yeah.
Whoa, it's the opposite of what I thought.
Yeah,
but it's
I know.
kind of encouraging, right? It's
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
Just the fact that there's a high probability that people turn it at all is like encouraging for society. Because a lot of people that meet a lot of people tend to say that most people are cool. Most people are good.
Yeah.
It's just that bad people get more attention.
Of course.
And
Unfortunately,
whatever.
that's just life.
Anyway, you look at bad. Is this
Yeah.
plugged in all the way? Speaking of good.
So this
Is
experiment,
that
Headphones were
different?
plugged in all the way.
Am I better now?
I don't know. You probably sound the same. I just saw that. It was for people
It could,
listening.
maybe I pulled it out.
I
You
didn't
never
think
know.
her headphones were plugged in enough. Speaking
Well,
of good people that plug things in all the
See,
way.
he gave it back.
Yeah.
He gave me the sound back.
That's me thumping
It's
my
like you
chest
should
with
give back
righteousness.
people's wallets.
Yes.
All right, so the
Money or none.
And this fake-looking key.
yeah, so the way the study was carried out, it started kind of small, where this guy just wanted to do his own thing, and he would just turn in like random wallets. Like he would just turn in a wallet that could be traded. Like if someone called, he would get the notice, right? With different amounts of money. But eventually they wanted to test all this. So over the period of time, they turned in 17,000 wallets. So what they would do is they would take a wallet with like someone else's contact information, but they could receive that call, you know, and they would take it to a public place like a post office or whatever, like front desk of wherever they're around, and say like, hey, I'm just, you know, I'm in town, I'm a tourist, whatever, I don't live around here, don't know the area, I found this outside, you think you can handle this or help, you know? And over time, it turns out they found that people, and they did this with like values of money. They didn't do like thousands of dollars. They did like $10 to $100.
Okay.
And when it was the higher range of money, people were more likely to turn it in. So
So interesting.
yeah, it really is.
It actually, this reminds me of a quick video that I just saw the other day, and it was this homeless guy. It was, you know, one of those setup videos kind of thing. But it was this homeless guy, and he watched this man drop his wallet, and he actually, you know, went up to him and was like, "Hey, man, here's your wallet back." And the guy's like, "Hey, thank you so much." Well, come to find out, he gave him the money. You know, "Hey, thank you for giving my mom. You know, so here's the money." This lovely man goes and buys food for all the other homeless men around.
Homeless man.
Yeah.
No, it's pretty
they're a
awesome. Yeah,
posse.
like, hey, generosity, man.
And so it's just, so when I think of that, I think about that type of person being good. That's what I hope the world really is that type of good.
Yeah, I mean, I think the majority of people are
Because
like
that is a humbling ass story when you watch it.
For sure.
To see, and he didn't get anything for himself either. He bought everything else for everyone else, and I just could not. I just was like, that is why we are on this planet, is because of that.
Yeah, we really are a hive species. That's our only confirmed, verifiable path to immortality, is the imprint we leave on the other people of this species, of the other humans that go on after us and take traits of us with them. That's not that we have to be immortal because as individuals, because our individual strengths are just part of like a society and a community and something that functions as an entity beyond us.
Right.
That's a form of deity that's really verifiable, that does things like that, helps people fly through the air, heals the sick. This is all communities and groups of people. And
I want to see who's flying through air, bro.
That.
What am I missing out on?
Well, there's no one person that can make a jumbo jet. It's a whole crew.
I got you.
Yeah, that's not a one-man object.
That's right. No, it's good. I get it.
So things like that, and we do that on the regular.
The rogues.
So, hey, before we pop into our next little commercial break, I want to put something on the screen for those of you tuned in. Subscribe to our YouTube, Greasy Conversation. I'm going to... Oh, hey, shout out to RJ Russell. The Noble
RJ,
Homeless Man is probably going to be his new band name.
Hell yeah.
That's a great band name.
Homeless Man as one word is great. It sounds like
You're welcome.
like a trade, like a right.
I'm TMing that shit. Fade's TMing it right now.
Homeless Men Union 702. So I'm gonna put something on the screen from some of my favorite YouTubers that are POV drone enthusiasts.
Oh yeah, this shit, dude.
And they were in Hong Kong for the Hong Kong protests, and it's really a trip. I'm not going to put it very full screen because YouTube will get upset. So that's why you're going to see only like a little bit of it.
Mad
But
tube.
Team Black Sheep, some of the best POV drone people, they flew drones like through the smoke grenades of the police officers.
Suckers!
Which some rumor may be mainland Chinese stand-ins. There's a lot of interesting political levels to this to look into, linked in the notes. But during this time, it's also time for commercial chug.
Wait, where am I at?
Commercial time. Gonna pay some bills. We're gonna get some commercials. Paying for the station with commercial time.
Dude wife.
True. A guy one time, he pulled his pants down and bent over and spread his cheeks.
What did the 5 minutes look like before that? Like, how did he just lead up to that?
He was proposing.
I was sitting there talking to his mother.
Dude wife.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute.
And
What?
he did it in front of me and his mother.
And his mother?
It's just crazy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dude wife.
Crying because his butthole was so big. But that's another story.
Oh my
Wait
God.
a minute. Whoa,
Wait a minute.
We'll talk about
You can't leave that hanging out there.
Pause.
He's got a big butthole, but we'll talk about it later.
Yeah. Right back to you, Jay.
Yeah.
Dude wife.
Was it clean at least?
No.
Oh.
I think that's why it looked big. It was brown, full of junk. Yeah, it was nasty.
Oh,
Yeah.
Not even manscaped?
he just got shit flakes.
Are you saying what he needed
falling
was
He
all
was
some?
over
like,
the place.
I don't know.
Are you saying what he needed was some dude
Dingleberries.
wipes?
He was a teenager, and I told her, I said, I don't think his butthole's that big. I think it was just crap. She started crying.
You see some dude wipes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Proud
definitely.
sponsor.
Get the address.
Yeah.
Ship him out a case of dude wipes.
Y'all, I'm so sorry. I always send the stories in the wrong direction.
No,
It's quite all right.
what other direction could you send it?
Right.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Dude wife.
Some guy bent over and showed me his dirty butthole.
Yeah. Someone's got a mic drop. Someone's got a sound drop now.
Dude wipes.
Dude wipes.
Dude
Exactly.
wipes.
That's their new commercial. I'm gonna cut it tomorrow. Make sure it happens.
Yeah, you got to.
I got a new Dude Wipes commercial for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me hear it. Dude Wipes. The guy bent over and showed me his dirty butthole.
Dude wipes.
Dude Wipes.
The guy got naked in the Rock Comedy Show.
Oh,
Dude wipes.
my mind's eye keeps remembering. I don't want.
DudeProducts.com.
What is Jesse Ray's Barbecue? Well, it's a tiny, unassuming place with a modest menu of platters, sandwiches, and house-made sauces. Located at 5611 South Valley View. By the smell alone, you're gonna know you're in the right place. Come try the award-winning slow-smoked ribs, chicken, pulled pork, hot links, and brisket. The sauce is also something to talk about, as you will want to eat it with every bite. Here's a tip. Their sauces are available for purchase. When people ask you, how do you like Jesse Ray's Barbecue? You'll say, like most people I know, I don't like it, I love it. Jesse Ray's Barbecue is 100% legit. Stop on by for a meal that will satisfy your barbecue-loving lips. Mention RadioVegas.rocks for 10% off your order. Jesse Ray's, located at 5611 South Valley View on the corner of Valley View and Russell. Come in, take a bite, find out why they're so award-winning.
Take a bite, find out why. Because they gave us so much food when we did a greasy conversation remote there at Jesse Ray's. Real talk, I was stuffing my pockets with it. I was eating it into the next day. When I have Jesse Ray's, it's like a festival of adventure in my mouth, made of not just animals, but like the other stuff they have, their corn situation. Holy crap. But I had an even equally significant experience over at Scott Griffin's Golden Tiki. This place, world renowned. There's like Disney Imagineer action going on here. There's parrots that talk to you. It's just the ultimate tiki situation. Check it out.
From top to bottom, the Golden Tiki is the most interesting bar in Las Vegas. It has so many hidden treasures inside that you need to go again and again just to take in the great decor you may have missed the first time. The talking tiki who puts on a show over the bar, or the black velvet paintings that tell the story of the pirate William Tobias Faulkner and his influence on the bar. You gotta love the tiki-inspired ashtrays, including those that blow smoke when you leave a cigarette inside. Hey, don't steal them, that's not cool. Grab some friends and order the treasure chest used for the $499 VIP service, or the $35 scorpion bowls, or $45 zombie punches. The skeleton that puts on his own show, or the waterfall, the lucky tiki you need to rub, the twinkle lights. I could go on, but just come down to the Golden Tiki, 3939 Spring Mountain Road, and experience the hidden hideaway for yourself. Did I mention at the Golden Tiki you should look for the Easter eggs hidden throughout the bar? Return and you'll most likely discover new things you didn't notice before, like Wilson hanging out behind the bar, or Bigfoot's footprint. The Golden Tiki, 3939 Spring Mountain Road.
There's big news coming out of Vegas. Your friends from RadioVegas.rocks wants to give one lucky listener a chance to win 2 VIP tickets with airfare and 3 days, 2 nights stay to see one of the greatest bands. It's the hottest residency in Vegas. We're talking about Aerosmith! All you got to do is download the free RadioVegas.rocks app and register to win. All information can be found at www.radiovegas.rocks. One lucky winner will get 2 VIP seats on stage. That's right, on stage to see Aerosmith live, November 21st in Las Vegas at the Park MGM. Aerosmith and RadioVegas.rocks.
Yeah. Wait.
Welcome to your ultimate dance experience. DJ Fade.
Oh, yeah. Hello, everybody. This is funky, fresh, faded, and elevated. I wanted to start it off as funky as we can get it.
Move your mind and get ready for the drop. Faded and Elevated with DJ Fade, right here on RadioVegas.rocks. Welcome to your ultimate dance experience. DJ Fade.
Oh, yeah. Hello.
Yeah, that's
Hello, everybody.
That's about
Double
you.
time. Double time.
Thanks, y'all. I appreciate you.
We're listening right now to the
put that
Greasy
shit on
Conversation talk show on RadioVegas.rocks, but featuring that person from the ad you just heard, Jordan Best Grimm, DJ Fade, Faded and Elevated. Hashtag Faded and Elevated is a powerful tag. It's got all the goodness.
Thank you.
Just check out that tag. If you're looking at the drone footage of the protests in China, during the ads, you might have noticed that video ended and it went to the WAN show, which is Linus Tech Tips. I got to give him a shout out. That's one of my favorite YouTube channels. I love Linus and all his. I'm a WAN show fan. So anyway, carrying on. Be sure to support our sponsors. They keep these lights ablazing.
Yeah.
And mention RadioVegas.rocks when you talk to them.
All right, so I just wanted to cover it's not really like a news story, but it is kind of cool and frightening at the same time. But in Sugarland, Texas, someone just spotted and took a picture of this alligator with like a steak knife stuck in their head, dude.
Oh, God.
On one hand, it's sad, but before you're traumatized, this alligator has a lot better antibacterial situation, like living in a swamp. And if it was removed, it probably it's most likely not touching brain. There's a lot of bone right there.
Yeah.
Oh my.
So
they had to really get it in there to do that.
Well, people think that this alligator wasn't attacking someone. They don't think this knife was put in this alligator to fend off an attack. It was probably someone being malicious to an animal. And that's still tragic and wrong.
Yes.
Because this alligator is a little bit small to attack a person.
Oh.
So it's messed up.
Yeah.
But
it's really bad.
It's very interesting looking, though.
Don't be fucking with animals, people.
It looks like it's really far in there, but supposedly there's a lot of bone right there, people say. So, like, if you scroll down into this
in there.
article, there's a lot of reassuring at the end from animal specialists that while unlucky, it's probably not as unhealthy as it looks. Just to reassure you.
Yeah, he's probably fine, and he looks like he's got a lot of street cred now.
The gangster factor.
I would say he's the dude.
Yeah, we can't disregard how gangster.
I think he's the boss.
Say if I knocked on your door and that was coming out of my forehead.
Hi.
You'd be willing to listen to me.
I would think so.
All right, this is probably the only story I really wanted to cover. I mean, this is probably the most important issue facing our time right now.
This is big.
What's your number one?
All right, so there's a campaign to change the name of fire ants to Spicy Boys.
No.
Is it BOIS?
No, it's just BOY. What? BOYS. Yeah. It should be BOIS, but they use the Y. So it's attracted 4.1 million signatures.
Oh
it's a
my.
referendum on the UK's membership of the EU.
The ads are covering the whole screen.
Yeah, I know.
can't look at the contents. This is not effective.
There's some choice quotes here. It's
this image though.
the main question is it's 2016, so I guess this is an older petition that's just been going on.
This is the cheapest graphic I've ever seen used
Yeah,
for a
yeah.
publication. It's like 2 different
MS
Photoshop brushes around
Well, it's
an amp.
totally just like, I mean,
It's like
just,
MS Paint status.
it's just
God,
a
I
meme
love it.
meme petition.
Notepad.
Yeah, this is. There's artists that get hired for these magazines, and the Independent's like, nah, I got this.
Yeah. And so it's 2016. There are 36 genders. Beyblade might be a new Olympic sport. Why aren't we calling fire ants spicy boys?
I love it. It makes them sound less hateful because I really dislike them.
It has taken far too long for this issue to be dragged into the public eye. One signee commented, "The time for this fire any nonsense to stop has come. Let's all just agree that spicy boys are called spicy boys and move on." Like,
I feel like these are the go-go ants.
just
They're the
so-
ones that party.
Yeah, the world can't be that bad if we've got a moment to talk about spicy boys.
Yeah, but it should be BOIS.
For
I
sure.
Feel like, yeah. No one spells boy BOY anymore. It's
Oh,
BOI. Get out of here.
gross.
You fuck boys.
Yeah.
You know what
Hey,
I'm
isn't that
That's a song from Lizzie Minx.
Lizzie Minx has an awesome show on this station too. I highly recommend looking up Mixtape with Lizzie Minx on the schedule page of radiovegas.rocks.
Well, it's Sundays at 10.
Oh, you know another good one is Freakmaster. Oh
Yeah.
man, Freakmaster's show is great.
Freaks.
But a rival to his would be
Pulsar.
Pulsar. I like how I went like this and you helped me remember his name.
Absolute.
It's just I have a problem where I can't remember more than 5 names in a row.
It's okay.
And,
We got you.
so I had to toss a couple. Pulsar, oh man, he digs up the best music. He is amazing at finding bands staffed with both males and females in all assortments instead of just a bunch of dudes making music all the time. And it's new, fresh, independent stuff and well-established underground influencers. It's breathtaking. But then you go to Freakmaster's show and you think, oh, this biker looking guy does like high-end car paint. It's going to just be a bunch of rock. It's going to be like hair. And he busts out old funk and delicious.
Which is my favorite that he throws out is the funk.
Oh, yeah.
Classic funk, classic R&B too.
Even a little rap too.
He's all over the place, but in a certain pocket that is really trustworthy. He's got killer taste. So there's just a plethora on the station right now. It's the time to be excited about RadioVegas.rocks more than ever. So please tell your friends we can't grow without you. If you got a little piece of knowledge, I'd be amiss if I didn't ask you to just spread the message a little bit. Just toss a little preach.
Preach.
Toss a preach, you guys. Toss a preach around.
Can I get
Yeah, can I get a preach tossed to me?
Amen.
Someone toss me a preach on
Hallelujah.
this. Hand me that preach.
Nice. All right. So I just found this article and picked it because I feel like I read this headline like every single week. And it's just scientists find the most Earth-like exoplanet ever, and it's nearby. Right? Like how many of those?
We literally had that headline. It was like last episode.
Like
of
5
the first one.
times we've had
That's
that
awesome.
headline at
but
least.
we found one more earthy.
Yeah, and more nearby than ever before.
Yes.
Right? It's like, okay, we get it.
A
Like
daily
exoplanets, you know, in the little, you know, cool space zone near the, you know, third planet area from the sun, you know. It's
We
all
got to
good.
get people excited though, because we all grew up just assuming that there's stars around there and they probably have planets, and if the planets are the right distance and the right size, they could probably support life similar to ours. If they got a handful enough water or methane or something else, there's carbon all over the place, silica. We got what we need, but nevertheless, it's only very recently that we've actually confirmed this. So even though we've all looked up there and thought this, this is actual proof. There's seriously not just, it's only a few years ago we discovered planets orbiting other stars and actually confirm that any of those blinky lights out there even had planets. You could argue that we were the only solar system for a minute.
Yeah.
They're all so far away. But to know now that there's ones in earthy positions, a couple of them, man, it's that Kepler. Guys, we've got some Kepler to thank.
Kepler!
Yeah, and this is a point I wanted to bring up earlier, but temporarily forgot because, you know, I'm spacey. But we're actually like at a very interesting time as far as like the length of the universe goes, because like right now all the galaxies are moving away from each other just because everything's being propelled away from each other in whatever direction. So eventually, at some point in the future, everything's going to be so far away that we aren't going to be able to detect other galaxies or other light sources, just because, like, unless you have some crazy instruments. But as far as like we understand detecting things, like, it's not going to be possible. So we might be like in a small pocket of like space history where we could actually know and understand all this stuff and
still reach things. They're only going to get further away.
And like civilizations, like other species might develop on other planets in the future, but they might be like too far away from everything else, and they might just like totally go on their whole lives thinking they're the only thing that ever existed in the giant blackness.
Yeah, the scope of things is dramatic. I mean, you've got don't quote me on this, but I mean within like a dozen or so light years for like Alpha Centauri, all the way to millions of light years of things that are far away. I mean, we can't see the edge. We can't see where it even ends. So
we just have like the observable universe, which is like what 13.8 almost 14 billion light years across or something.
And the majority of the matter, we don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Dark matter is the majority of matter.
And we're like,
and it flows through us all the time.
Yeah.
We know it's going through us. We don't know what it is or what it's made of or what.
But, you know.
Even if it qualifies as matter. So, yeah, there's still a lot to figure out. But the amount that we've figured out just since we were in grade school, when they're like, oh, yeah, protons and neutrons, that's the smallest thing. And now we know there's quarks inside there. And the quarks can be pulled apart, and another one seems to come out of nowhere. But it's not created or destroyed because of Newton's laws and stuff. But there's this quantum level, so quantum allows for something to be in multiple dimensions. Electrons exist everywhere in a shell simultaneously until they're detected. So there's just like, whoa, we've got dimensions to deal with now.
Well, and there's like a whole soup of like subatomic like things that make up quarks. And then there's like gluons underneath that. And then there's things that make up gluons. And there's like a whole nother periodic table of elements underneath it all, which is really like interesting.
The fact that we even discovered one of those in our lifetime, discovering the Higgs boson, is insane.
Yeah, which is fun. Like, I remember reading like I don't know, it's like an Einstein biography or something, but there was this I can't remember who, but this physicist around that time when they were like discovering quantum mechanics, and he was very a public figure and made the statement like, oh, we'll know everything there is to know about physics within 5 years. This was like 70 years ago or something.
Of course.
You know?
Like, just give me 5.
Just like super cocky and like, oh, we found these little particles and like, yeah, we know they exist. We figured out everything. And like, this is like, people like dedicate their whole lives have dedicated their whole lives to figuring this shit out for hundreds of years.
Well, they say that this happens often and they find these often. So I wish they would talk about it more. We kind of
you do have to kind of dig because it's not like super popular when they're like, oh, we found another particle.
Well, they actually haven't found these particles on the quark level. There's still only I want to say like around a dozen of them, and even we're not finding them very often.
That's the thing too.
A couple of them are theoretical because they're only in the math. Well, you find them by smashing particles into each other and looking at what flies out, looking at the chunks.
Oh.
That's the only way we know how to do it right now.
Obliteration.
We don't know how to unscrew the VCR. We only know how to throw it against the curb at the right angle so that corner of the curb knocks the VCR apart. And then we're saying, oh, there's little wheels in here and there's a belt.
Yeah.
And you could probably repeat that same action legit 100 times, a million times over, and it's the same each time.
Yeah, and you need
until it's different.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing too.
So these detectors can see these particles and the path that they take in 3D when these things split. They see it electromagnetically with coils and stuff, and they are trying to do it at higher and higher velocities. Right now, the whole LHC is being torn down and rebuilt as a bigger circle yet to get higher energy levels yet, so we can smash things into smaller dust and see. But I don't, in the math, in the theories, it's not likely there'll be smaller things inside quarks. I might eat my lunch on this, but we're on the process of confirming a lot of these particles that we know are there in the math that seem to be there.
Yeah,
the Higgs boson was one of those.
There's
It's
like
this should be there.
Things that exist at like this energy level.
Yeah, like we do the math on it, and like, oh, something has to do this variable.
Well, it's benchmarked. I mean, it's precedented, so they have an idea of where it's supposed to do. Or
Yeah,
supposed
like
to
we
go
should
or
see
say or be or whatever. But
a spike here means that this happened. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right,
we
so
just can't like
the
we just
fluctuations is where is
and
where
we
all
just
the
can't
magic
make
happens.
and we can't make
Clearing
things
out the noise.
Yeah, and we can't make things go like fast enough to like find out yet.
That's a thing. Hey, we're really getting close to the episode in a hurry. Let's slam through the things that we have in our promo graphic, because I really want to talk about this Russian poker star.
Yeah, I want to get to that.
This, I don't know if I've seen this in mainstream news at all, besides Ange Kerfoot throwing this at us. Man, we got crack journalist Ange Kerfoot.
Yo.
Check out our new album that we just released together called Into the Whatever. Look it up on Bandcamp. If you like some deep, heady beats.
Shit hits hard, man.
But it's that soft hard. It's like a pillow fight.
I'm pretty sure that should be on Faded and Elevated.
There should be one of your tracks like tossed. I put it in the OneDrive in the Play These Songs place.
Now I know, bro. So I got you on Saturday.
I'm gonna send you a link specifically. I actually told you I would and forgot to.
That's okay.
To give people the real inside baseball on that. But
I
check that out.
have space for you if you want it.
We've got that pocket. But the Russian poker star that was suspiciously died from a hairdryer accident. Yeah. The report is that this hairdryer accidentally killed her. But get this, she has an engineering degree, 1. 2, hairdryers, last I checked, if they plug into the wall, even anywhere in the world, if it's not 110, it's 220. I know that's more voltage, but it's still AC. AC, you guys, doesn't lock your muscles. That's one of the reasons why the DC in Teslas has so many protection things. There's all these sheaths around the cables, because if you get shocked by DC that's a high enough voltage, which you in normal life, you're never exposed to high voltage DC.
Yeah.
It never happens, but it makes your muscles lock. Like on movies and stuff where you can't let go. Remember in Jurassic Park and they're like, oh, I can't let go. That sound, you love it.
Yeah.
AC doesn't lock your muscles. You can always let go if you're being shocked by AC. So there's no way this hairdryer was electrocuting her in a way that she couldn't let go of it. According to what I looked into, because it was hard in American news to get more details on this, because I went to a couple different sources. This link isn't the best one, the first one I clicked, but Casino.org was the one that had the best info for me that I found so far.
Yeah.
And they don't mention anything about her being in the bath with the hairdryer. She was using, so it's not like she dropped it in water, was electrocuted through the water, which also is, you don't die quick that way. You have to like want to die that way. Not only that, but any hairdryer that I've seen has a ground fault interrupter.
Yeah.
So, okay, but get this, you're in Russia. There's not as good as safety standards. I did
Right.
look online. You can buy a hairdryer without a ground fault interrupter. I saw one made in Russia, didn't have a ground fault in the plug. And they might not have the same regulations to have ground fault interrupters in bathrooms like you have to in America.
Word.
So all that put aside, you still can let go with a hairdryer. This is totally an assassination attempt. It's just like all of the other people that either spoke out against Russia or were spies that they felt were compromised. And Russia had them, they committed suicide. They jumped out a window. Oh, why are there claw marks on the windowsill? If this person committed suicide.
Plus,
is this another one of these for sure?
I mean, look, she's like a pretty like high roller poker player, right? That's what she did for a living, is just play poker. She's been on like Poker Stars, popular Twitch streamer.
All over
streaming.
Western media.
Yeah.
So that right there is motive.
So
For
like,
sure.
So like, okay, if you got money from playing poker, you're not gonna buy some cheap Russian hairdryer, right?
Hey,
That's another good point.
We're gonna
That is a
dismantle this
great
fucking thing.
point.
All right.
Yes.
And like when
Nailed it.
like outside of the
sure.
movies, like whoever is just like gets in a bathtub and like has a hairdryer. Like hairdryers are always by the sink.
Yeah. Not only
Always.
that, but apparently she didn't die in the bath. From what I'm reading from casino.org, she was outside the bath. That was
Oh,
another thing I
man.
looked into. Not only that, if you look inside a hairdryer, it's a bunch of coils that get hot.
Yeah.
And it's via resistance. So if you're completing a circuit inside this hairdryer, it has to be like at the base. Anything goes awry with these coils, and you'll burn yourself, yeah, but they're all resistors between you and the electricity. It has to go through those coils too, and they resist by nature. That's how they get hot. So there's no way to get the full voltage unless it's like the base, a frayed end, something in the handle, a bad switch, and then someone's got to like hold your hand on it.
Damn.
Some gloved hand like held her to this
It
hand
says
dryer.
it says here. This is what I feel like is a key.
Damn.
We're digging deep here. This is what I feel is like a key point.
No, this is going to be on
It's-
Joe Rogan in a week. Watch out.
It's
that always
believed-
happens.
Oh,
It's
well,
believed
you heard it
she
We
here
may
always
first.
scoop him.
It's believed she may have banged her head as a result of the electric shock. So that's a story they're going with.
Oh yeah. She couldn't have banged her head first, and then
She
got
couldn't
a
have
little...
let go of the dryer. No, she just had to hold on to it, and then she slipped and fell and banged her head. Yeah,
So unlikely.
sounds super plausible.
Because this
the
bang
whole
the head
story.
is why. Because a part of me was like, okay, it is tough to sneak up on someone and then hold their hand to an object, but you sneak on someone and you hit their head, then you just break a
their
hair
hand there.
dryer and get some electrical burns on her hand, and you're good to go.
Yeah,
Boom, handled.
put her in like next to the bathtub and shit.
It's
put
like textbook
Yo, that's like
assassination.
it's really sloppy too. It's not even like
It's not even the best assassination.
it's not even
yeah.
trying to cover it up. They're like, eh.
But it's how all the Russian ones look.
This'll work.
There's some injury that could have been done by an assassin, and then something else that was probably done afterwards that could be a probable cause for the first thing.
Yeah.
So they could appear in the
They're
opposite
like,
order.
well, I mean, it looked like he was pushed out the window, but if we consider that the Russian government says that they don't have assassins, he must have jumped.
Yeah.
Only
Only other option.
yeah, only other explanation. So Occam's razor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
In Soviet Russia, Occam razors you.
real talk though, I know Joe Rogan isn't like trying to have news first or anything.
No.
But like every other episode, we have at least one topic that like Jamie ends up showing him or something like that.
Yeah.
Like we've been scooping him hard lately. Bless his heart. So
Bless his little heart.
there's been all this news about this Tesla update, but it's been different news. Ange Kerfoot sent me. Okay, sorry, but probably should do a stinger because I'm changing topic. Tesla just released a new update. Yeah, and they have a dog mode now. So in the auto air conditioning thing, you can put this thing, and it shows the temperature and a message on the screen, letting people know the car is safely taking care of these dogs in the car, and they're cool.
That's
wow.
dope.
Super dope, but not as dope as this other thing they did. They teamed with this app developer that has a racing game to put the racing game in their center screen on the Model 3. But guess how you steer the car in the racing game?
With the steering wheel.
With the steering wheel of your car. Yeah. How cool is that? But the gas pedal of your car doesn't work, so people don't accidentally confuse it. But the brake pedal of your car will work. So in the game, you like auto go unless you hit the brake on your car and then you drive with the wheel.
Oh wow.
It's so
That's going
rad.
to cause some issues when they actually drive.
Well, you obviously it doesn't work unless you're parked.
Of
I don't
course.
think it even works in like a drive-through. You have to be totally off.
Well, no, but can't you see them trying to play this game in their minds when they're trying to use their pedals, and then they're going to totally,
That's why the
wreck their
gas pedal.
Tesla.
Yeah. But they thought of that, and that's why the gas pedal's deactivated.
Oh, wait.
So
If
just
you're
the
playing
brake
the
pedal.
game,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, but when they're actually driving, is what I'm saying.
You'd
They're
have to
gonna
be totally out of the game before the gas pedal works to move the
No,
car
no, I
again.
get it. But when they're actually driving, not playing the game,
They're going to be like in
wishing they
game
were
mode.
Yes.
It's going to rile people up.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
a
what
concern.
I'm
I mean,
concerned about.
possible.
Yeah.
They should wait
Valid.
till like fully
Valid.
automated cars before they roll that out.
Yeah.
But I ran into like a cool idea reading about automated cars, so that you have like different Like imagine instead of owning cars, you just have like subscription services.
Yes, that's inevitable.
Yeah, but you have like
That's fun.
different versions
It's like a
of car,
lease-ish.
like different types of cars for the type of ride you need. Like you just need a quick ride to work. You get the standard, you know, pick you up, drop you off, whatever. But you're going on a long ride, you get a sleep mobile with a nice, comfortable bed, little like lean back seats.
And it'll be cheaper than the cost of ownership of a car by far too. Have you guys looked at Turo? I feel like this is the kind of beginning of this. A system like Turo will probably be something that a lot of people use instead of rental cars. Turo is a way for you to rent out your car, and you can rent a car that belongs to someone.
Yeah, it's like B&B for your cat.
So eventually, when we all
Airbnb.
Yeah.
when self-driving vehicles are so common that a lot of people are going to own one and then pay for it by renting it out when they're not using it. So their own car picks them up and takes them when they go places, but then their car like makes the money taking other people. They just have to clean it up. Just have to wash the barf out of it with the hose when they're not using it. That's why I'd rather use someone else's car than have to, even my car that pays for itself, have to clean it and stuff.
It'll be interesting if people like even. Well, it'll be interesting if people even own cars, because I was like, okay, if you could.
There's going to be enthusiasts. I'm definitely going to own a cheap car for fun sometimes. Taking the dirt sometimes, you know.
But I think like if you could retrofit cars to become automated cars, which I think is like
very
possible.
doable.
Yeah.
There's lots of people doing electric conversions. It's the matter of putting these camera systems up and calibrating them.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the autonomous developers are making them agnostic as far as what vehicle.
Yeah.
Apple's secretly doing it. That's a thing. People forgot about that.
Secret.
Yeah, they're doing it like Amazon's Rocket Time. They're hiding it out. But you see Apple test cars. They're floating around.
They are, yeah.
So that's going to be a sneaky win, especially because Uber gave up. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Uber's like, no. Did you know that the stats came out as far as how often Uber's autonomous vehicles were dropping out of autonomous mode and relying on the driver? And it was like every 7 minutes or something.
What?
Dear God.
That's
Don't quote me on that number.
Yeah.
But it was
it's
like
around that.
It's a ridiculous number. Yeah.
They weren't really very autonomous. They were posers. But Uber has arguably the most robust system to manage a rideshare service with another company's autonomous vehicles.
Yeah.
And that's where they should really lean into. And that's the plan now. Since they ditched Kalanick, bless his heart.
Go ahead and TM that so you can make some cash when they do it.
The new CEO for Uber has been awesome. He immediately initiated tipping through the app, which is something Kalanick was against disgustingly. Because so many mixed feelings on Kalanick, and this is old news, but this is the Uber CEO that had great vision for what Uber did to democratize transportation and help people. But the vision was too far-fetched as far as how much it would really make drivers without tips. It's in America, the price structure is not realistic without that level.
Yeah.
It's very true.
So he was really, really mild. Like for someone such a futurist with a lot of vision that did a lot for a lot of people economically and made a whole industry. He also sexually harassed people at work and was a cocky asshole that was stubbornly ready to run the company into the ground for a vision that wasn't complete. Whereas we've got a level-headed CEO on Uber now, and it's making a big difference.
That's great.
Nice. All right, let's jump into our last commercial chug.
You guys love tacos?
I do.
Yes.
I do. Okay, right?
Love tacos.
That's my spirit animal.
I don't care what gender you are, or we love tacos, right?
Sexually identify as a taco.
Yes. Whatever, man. But since we all love tacos, we all need to know about Pinche's Tacos. And do you know where it's at? It's 9205 West Russell Road. It's an awesome place for lunch, dinner, or both. Here at RadioVegas.rocks, we love this place so much that if you mention us and order a blood orange margarita, they will give you a free gringo taco. What? Free gringo taco? Yes, that's right. That's what I said. And you know what else? It's like, okay, you're like, well, I don't really feel like driving over there. They have 2 locations, bruh. 2 locations. But you need to get in on this deal. You must visit the Russell location. I mean, yeah, that's where you got to go for the free gringo tacos. But I'm just saying, you know what I mean? If you're just like, I don't have gas for that, but I have money for tacos, just go to the other one. But yeah, Pinche's Tacos, because Who else doesn't love tacos, man?
It's back! The triumphant return of the Zoe Bowie Karaoke Contest. Brought to you by Zip Fizz All Natural Energy. With a grand prize of singing your favorite song on stage live with Zoe Bowie and his band. It's the Zoe Bowie Karaoke Contest. For more details, listen to the Rockin' Comedy Show. Or visit rockingcomedyshow.com. And keep it right here on the station that sings with Zoe Bowie. RadioVegas.rocks.
Hey everyone, it's your buddy Crazy J back again to tell you about Angel Wax. We've been telling you about it for a while. Angel Wax. We've been telling you about it for a while now. This product is absolutely amazing. Our boy Tommy Davis, the man behind Angel Wax, he has been working hard for you. He has been on tour, he has been traveling, he's done car shows, he's done conventions. He is spreading the gospel of Angel Wax, and it's working. A lot of people are getting into it, they love it. Those car enthusiasts that are spending their weekends detailing it like crazy, love it. If you want to outshine the rest of the cars on the road, the best way to do that is by getting some Angel Wax. Let Tommy Davis know that RadioVegas.rocks sent you to him to try this amazing product. Angel Wax, get in on it today.
Oh, wow. Okay, good. Glad that was a quick one because, man, we've got some serious articles going on. If you're just tuning in, this is the Greasy Conversation Talk Show on RadioVegas.rocks. No, you just muted your microphone. That's that one. Yeah, that's number 2.
Oh.
Yeah. You pulled a me. That's my usual job, is muting the wrong microphone.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I'm on it. Can't have people not hear you.
All right, so
Appreciate
let's just jump into it. Last 20 minutes, we got a news chug.
News chug.
All right, so this one is pretty interesting. You know, we live in a new world. We all have little magic devices that we all look at all the time, and it's great. You can find out anything, but researchers are finding now that teenagers are developing little, they're calling them horns, but they're little like bone spurs on the back of the base of their skull. Because of like the mobile tilt.
Oh, because of staring down?
Yeah. So
Tech neck.
Yeah. That's a great name for it.
Man, there's some yoga. We all got to be doing that tech yoga.
Yeah. So this little bone spur actually affects the way your neck supports the skull, and instead like move some of the weight onto the muscle behind your neck instead of like on your spine.
Oh, body mechanics warning, you guys.
Yeah.
Can I get a stinger on this body mechanics warning? That's major. Body mechanics warning. Behold.
Yeah, so, I mean, look, everyone loves to like stare into their phones or on their computer all the time. I have terrible posture. I mean, I know it. I'm just kind of resigned to that. Like, that's just my life now.
I don't know. Maybe you don't that bad, because if you're aware of it and you're constantly adjusting back, that's way more than people usually do. And you don't look like you have bad
I was
posture.
Gonna say, it doesn't. I don't think you do.
Yeah.
As bad as I've seen
when I'm not
before.
in public.
You're like
not
this.
in public. When I'm at home, I'm like.
I love this the sound.
Just like roll up into a little ball like a transformer.
I really think though that there's ways you can like lie down and cuddle with your device and love it and spend time with it that aren't going to give you a bone spur. I think it's just body
you want to get on
mechanics.
the next level, you got to get like the projector that just shoots onto the ceiling when you lay in bed.
Oh.
That's the move.
I got ASMR with how much I love that idea.
That's the move.
Yeah, I got the tingles on that. That's a real move. I was gonna say, elbows on the table is a thing. You let the elbow do the work.
Yeah,
you can stare straight ahead. Pay attention to how you're positioned. You guys, if you use a trackpad, try to keep your wrist straight. Don't have that ulnar deviation. And don't operate your fingers with your wrist crooked. This is some major tips, and these are the first things you see, and it makes a giant difference in how long you get to use your body. Massage therapists know this, because if you go to massage someone, you notice you get tired really quick. But if you use good body mechanics and use gravity, then you can massage someone forever. It's one of those things, body mechanics.
It's an amazing thing.
It's easy to Google too. A couple little tips change your whole tech experience.
Massage.
Yeah, you'd
Tell
be
your
surprised
friends.
like how much just like wrapping your wrists a little bit like once in a while will help.
Yeah, because warmth there tells your body to heal in that area extra.
Yeah.
It's like a message, heal over there, because I'm making it warm.
And even like
you
when
gotta
I
be
used
careful though with the warmth though, because then it'll overinflame and then it actually can be more harmful. Whereas that's why you ice.
Mm-hmm.
So
Gotta
it
do a combo.
contracts Well, you got to do you can combo
Do one and then the
after.
other?
When you're in an initial injury, you need to ice that sucker for a while.
I like passive warmth, where I just put a sock on my wrist. I cut off the toe part first, obviously, so I can still grab things.
Come on,
but
you don't want to mitt it?
I just put socks in my hands, and I make people high five me awkwardly, and I smell them. I smell them at restaurants.
Syphil and like Syphil and Ollie show.
But no, real talk. Sock on the wrist, you guys do it. It's cool.
Yeah, it helps.
You've probably seen that do that in past episodes. I usually have that.
Yeah.
Sock on a wrist.
All right.
That should be a song.
But that just reminds me, if anyone does remember like the old MTV show Syphil and Ollie, go binge that shit. It's fucking great. Sock puppet show. It's tremendous.
Syphil and Ollie, yeah.
Dude.
Yeah,
It's
Mike.
been a minute.
Yeah,
Good
that's
call.
like
Mad
back in
Mike
the
quotes
day.
it a lot, keeping it crescent fresh.
Nice.
Crest fresh.
That's fresh.
Can we talk just for a second about the breastfeeding mother who squirted her boob?
Yeah, I definitely wanted to get to that one.
I just have to mention that that's great. We don't need to spend a lot of time on it except to celebrate it.
Well, no, I mean, so for some reason, there seems to be this huge issue with mothers breastfeeding their children in public.
Yeah, that's like
it's like a big issue now,
and it's like magical.
And it's not like
life.
they got their tits out. Like,
No.
there's always a blanket covering the baby.
Like that
And
was
they're
you.
like-
You did that once.
Yeah, like
Embrace
you don't
that.
fucking remember. Like, what the fuck happened to you? Like, what brain fungus did happen to you that like you have a problem with that in public because apparently your husband like can't be bothered to not look at breasts. I mean, like have some decency. But yeah, so I mean, it was a thing.
I can understand it being awkward or embarrassing if I'm breastfeeding.
Yeah.
To be the breastfeeder, sympathy, because some might oogle. But to shut down someone else's breastfeeding is like, mind your own business. I ain't
That's
telling
a
you not
great
to go
way
pee.
to put it. And I think that's what most people are like, well, I couldn't do that, so how can they? So, and that most people, because most people will automatically think about themselves rather than somebody else. And I'm with you. I think the fact of it is like, let them do what they do. But I think most people, if they're closed off within that realm, they're like, oh my God.
Yeah,
I'm
and it's like, hold on. There's a lot of other people in the world, and they've all left the town that they were born in, and they've seen people breastfeed their kids, and it's not that big of a deal.
It's not
Like,
a big
get
deal.
over it.
Yeah, it is what it is. You did the same thing, like you said. So
I love
it's
that
just
targeting
weird how
people
it's
that
like
have never left the
progressed to
town
this
there.
thing.
Well, I mean, like, I just imagine it's that
that
type of person. Like,
Yeah.
they finally venture out of their town and like go to the big city, and they see someone breastfeeding their kid, and they're like, "Oh
What's
my
that?
Lanta."
What's happening?
My favorite will be when they just start like passing different babies off to other people
Right.
to have them breastfeed.
Or
It's
kids.
like-
That's the thing. Breastfeeding a kitten, that might be kind of sexier
Yeah,
in
I would
public
do
than
that.
it should be.
I would do that.
And I would kind of,
No.
I would be turned on by that more than a woman breastfeeding a child. If she's breastfeeding a kitten, that's way sexier, right? I don't know. Maybe it's not
No.
that's horny kind of
No?
sexy, but like the cute kind of endearing, like, oh, that's neat.
That's
magical.
weird. No one should.
It's beautiful.
I'm kind of with Loss on this one, yeah.
All right, maybe I took it too far.
Well, no, but like a woman, human.
Yeah, breastfeeding a kitten. That's kind of like double cute,
That's
right?
weird.
If you
No,
needed
obviously it's
to.
weird. I don't think that's normal at all.
Yeah, but I mean,
but
like,
it's not endearing.
I'm not saying that like I would masturbate to that. But
No.
I'd be like, oh, that's cute. Like
No,
I would-
that's just
if I had a poster of that on my wall,
Fucking weird. No.
I'd smile when I brush my teeth to it.
Oh my God. What?
Yo.
Well, I mean, this
is greasy conversation.
Yeah.
It's not bestiality either because there's not a consent issue.
No.
It's just feeding. It's just nutrition.
Like, imagine if the woman lived in an area where she didn't have access to bottles and she had to save this kitten's life.
Save its life.
She had to breastfeed the
Anytime a
kitten.
woman is saving something's life, that's endearing.
Yeah, it's true.
I don't even know where to begin to think about this. Because there was a video that I actually saw recently, and it was a woman breastfeeding a dog, a puppy.
Oh, that's different. That's gross.
See? But a kitten's fine.
It's a dog, though.
Yeah, but dogs are like,
Yeah,
man.
ew.
But a kitten's fine?
Yeah,
That's a beautiful
Okay,
kitten.
I am so... I don't even know what to
Well,
say.
here's the thing. I can explain this in one way. In the state of California, you're legally obligated to force. It's the law. You have to register a dog. You can't have a dog without a license.
Right.
The dogs have to be licensed.
Okay.
Because they have to belong to someone. They have to be. They have to have a caregiver. Cats aren't required to have a caregiver. You don't have to license them. You don't have to have a cat license. They like belong to themselves.
Oh, so it's fine to just
intrinsically.
take in the non-licensed
Yeah,
kitty
yeah.
cats.
Like this
But
kitten.
since you're a dog and have a license,
Well, dogs are less autonomous, so there's less of a consent issue.
Yeah.
That's what the consent's less clear cut with the puppy.
Dogs are just like four-legged babies forever.
Yeah.
That's how I see dogs.
Where kittens are like, it's like a deformed person.
Yeah. Yo.
Your face about it is the best. I told you this was a good luck episode.
if you, I have no words.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, we got to chug a couple more.
All right. So
Whooped
the New York State Senate decides to decriminalize marijuana use. It's not fully legal, but it is decriminalized. Small amounts.
So this is news because it's New York. Everyone else has already done this, but New York's
a lot of
doing it.
other states. I mean, like dominoes.
Can we talk about what Nevada did really quick? In Nevada, this is probably not going to do anything because it's a right to work state. I'll explain that in a second. But if you are drug tested for a job in marijuana, if you're drug tested for a job in Nevada and you test positive for marijuana, they're not allowed to refuse you the job because of marijuana. You can test positive for whatever and they can not hire you.
Unless you work for the state.
Well, not only
if
that,
it's a government job, yeah.
Not only that, but because it's a right to work state, they can refuse to hire you just anyway.
Right.
They can,
Which
for
like
any
most,
reason.
Which a lot of states are.
Yeah.
Or at will or right to work.
So even though they're not allowed to consider that, if they're drug testing you anyway and that data is available to them, there's nothing to stop them from considering.
Yeah, they don't like have to say like, oh, we declined this, we declined you the position because you tested positive for marijuana. They don't have to tell you shit.
It's not a civil right yet.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
But I mean, like, it's just crazy. But anyway, but also this moves to remove the criminal penalties of people who were like locked up previously or have penalties due to marijuana. So
great.
Yeah, that's a really big step, which I think is important, and more states should like look into doing that because
it's
like you have all
starting.
these like rich motherfuckers starting up and now that it's legal, like all these rich motherfuckers start up the marijuana industry and like, you know, but people are still being locked up for it, which is fucking ass backwards.
Absurd.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
It's beyond hypocritical to something that like just doesn't make sense. It's actually haunting that our government can even function that way.
Yeah.
People can stay in prison for something that's not illegal anymore.
And that it's like, or that they could ever go to prison in the first place is what we should be talking about because it's totally a nonviolent crime and like literally doesn't affect
about those
anyone else.
Every other country treats people and helps them solve what the issue is in their life that's causing them to turn to this addiction in the first place. We just lock them in jail and teach them other criminal skills.
Yeah.
So that and then make sure they can't get a job when they get out. We're just training criminals, and we lock up 1 out of 100 of everyone in America. It's 10 times the next most incarcerating country, which is Brazil, which is a corruption civil war country.
Central.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Central America locks up less people than we do.
And we lock up more people than China, which has 3 times the population.
Yeah.
And
they
mind
lock
you, it's
up,
all on your budget. It's
and
all
they,
on your dime.
Exactly. Yeah.
And we have
Remind
freedom
you
of speech. There's countries that lock up people for just speaking up against the government, right and left, and they still can't lock up as many as we do.
Yeah.
Because we just lock up our mentally ill is what we do. We just, if you have any kind of mental problem, you're going to start in jail before we do anything else for it.
Which also is a nice segue. Also New York, they are moving to ban for-profit prisons from operating in their state, which is great. And why the words for-profit prison
even
appear next to each other at all
ridiculous.
is in fucking sane.
Yeah, how did that happen?
Like, think about this, okay? Like these companies, these corporations that own these for-profit prisons lobby the government to make laws which make it easier or more beneficial to arrest people to fill the private prisons, so they get money from the government for housing these inmates.
Yes.
Like, what the fuck?
There's a prison industry.
Yeah. Like, it's literally batshit insane.
Yeah, not
like,
only that,
I
but
just
it's the easiest to target minorities and people of lower incomes because they have the least capability to fight it.
Yeah.
Because it's expensive to fight. It's
even
ridiculous.
like even the question of like bail is coming into question, because like being held because you can't make bail like ruins people's lives.
Yeah.
Like most people, like it's the
even if you're not even convicted.
Yeah, the statistics in America are like, I can't remember what the percentage of it is, but it's a large percentage of Americans that are like 1 or 2 paychecks away. Like if any of these people experience, like if I experience a major like medical catastrophe, or if like something crazy unforeseen happened, like I just wouldn't be able to cope and like would be homeless probably, you know? And a lot of people are like that. Like you're one major situation away from losing everything. Imagine like just getting arrested for like 2-3 weeks. You can't go to your job because you couldn't make bail. You didn't have anyone you could call that could like lend you $500 to get the fuck out of jail.
And say you're falsely accused.
Yeah, or what? Yeah, and like your life is ruined from that point. Like now, like you don't have an income, you have to go try to find another job, and like you're worried about you can't pay bills. Like it's just insane, man. Like the way we deal with shit is just, I don't know how anyone's okay with it. It just seems insane.
For real.
You know, I think we can go later since the hosts of the next show are black this week. Consequently.
Yeah, we could do an extra 10 minutes.
Because we've got so many juicy ones this week. This is like the amount of news we usually have in 2 weeks.
Yeah, for sure.
So I want to say again, if you go to our website, greasyconversation.com, or just woz.lol if you want to get there in a hurry, the page for this episode has a link to our live Google Doc we're playing with right now, and there's just so much fun juice in here to check out.
All right.
It's juicy.
I do want to go this one. So I don't know if everyone's been seeing these news articles pop up of like whales being beached. There's been a lot of whales just like beached in the last 3 to 4 months, right? It's been like a more common occurrence. People don't really know what's causing it.
They're getting brave. Yeah,
well, it turns out that some of these whales have turned up and their stomachs are just like full of plastic.
Plastic, that's what it is.
Oh, like, they're getting on the land because they're like...
They can't, their stomach is just so clogged with plastic, they can't eat anymore, and they just die. So they just end up beached, right? So thus far, it's turned out that there have been so many beached whales that they're asking for private landowners space to bury them.
Wow.
Because the organizations that would normally handle these don't have the space to bury any more whales. And there have been
so sad.
70 gray whales. So not like blue whales, not the mammoth. 70. Yeah, this year. So, and these are like, they're not like the blue whales that are absolutely massive, but they're 40 feet long fucking animals that
pretty
wash
big.
Yeah. And their stomachs are full of plastic.
Yeah, 40 feet, that's the biggest rental moving truck that you can drive with a regular driver's license.
Not like a CDL. Yeah. So it's pretty crazy. Like, yeah, but anyway, I mean, just imagine like there's so many just beached whales. You have to ask like private landowners like, oh, hey, can we bury some whales in your land? Like,
and they're full of plastic. We can't count on the whales to clean the ocean.
Yeah, they're not enjoying it.
That's not what they're for.
Yeah.
And we killed too many of them to get their oil for old Volkswagen transmissions and stuff. Real talk, like if you have an old microbus, it might still have whale oil in the transmission. That's what we did with all the whales. And like, yeah.
No,
we just abused them.
Real talk, like plastic is going to be the only legacy of humans.
Yeah.
Like after everything rots, after all the buildings fall down, the only thing that's going to be left is fucking plastic.
Well, it's an era. It's a layer in the soil now.
Yeah, it literally is. Yeah, that's going to be future archaeologists, maybe from another planet, are gonna come back and they're gonna just see plastic, and that's it.
RJ recommends that we utilize the blubber, but only blubber that they've willingly given us because we filled them full of plastic.
Yeah.
I really hope
Excellent.
that all these poor whales died in Finland where they killed them. So now they don't have any to kill.
Yeah, yikes.
Oh yeah, I did see that. Like Finland, it turns out like Finland kills more whales than Japan, which
Yeah,
Japan has been like notorious for whaling.
Yeah.
Oh,
Which
no,
is
it's
like
a big thing there, and they.
Man, I didn't know about that.
If
That's
we
crazy.
could farm them, if we could have sustainable whale agriculture, but how silly does that sound? We can't farm
No.
If we could try to farm some whales, that'd be nice, just to rebuild the population. But we can't just plant them in a prairie like trees. It's not northern Oregon or whatever.
They eat a lot of whale meat over there.
Speaking of which, we moved to plastic when we were kids because of running out of trees.
cured.
Lo and behold, now, like as I was growing up, I visited family in Oregon. They're like, well, look at these rows of trees we plant. The box company I work for, not in the present tense, this is in the past. This is a relative saying this. All of our boxes come from these trees that we grow, and we grow them in stages. So that years ahead of time they're babies, and we have these ones down the road. We've been doing it long enough that we grow all the trees we need now for all the boxes. And it was that, I don't remember the name of the company, but it's the one that makes all the boxes.
Yeah,
where
yeah.
it like has that seal on it. It's like that major box company.
They're
It's like the biggest one.
We make boxes. Every other box is an imposter.
Yeah, so after we had this issue of like popping on petroleum plastics and that whole propaganda because of running out of trees and owls and stuff. Meanwhile, now we're all backpedaling and saying, "Oh, we got to make the straws out of paper. We got to start making everything out of paper because paper degrades and we can grow more of it. It's renewable."
Yeah,
And
if you
this
plant
plastic
it.
thing was a sham.
Yo, you know, like I've seen some like crazy ads. Like I saw this YouTube ad just today, which was talking about how renewable energy in America is a delusion, and we should focus on fracking and oil. And I'm like, oh,
Because we can't run out of that.
yeah.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
yeah,
oh,
right.
renewable energy is a delusion, even though like other countries have been able to produce like the 99% of their energy on renewables.
Yeah.
And
Are you saying that like is this an American commercial saying that China's got something figured out that we don't? Because that sounds pretty un-American to me.
yo, these like it's just amazing sometimes, like the blatant like
Plus,
propaganda.
they've figured out a lot of stuff, but they're kicking our butt on renewable energy. And
Yeah.
they're just like they're the oldest civilization. I don't mean that there's anything intrinsically inferior about them, but we helped them a lot have a technological revolution, and
Yes.
we've taken advantage of them every step of the way. It's been at our whim and to serve us. And then they've just stepped ahead, and now we have an issue because they copy all of our technology, and there's no like copyright or patent restriction there at
Yeah.
all. And now they're a world power; it's an actual issue. But we had it coming.
Yeah.
Oh, they're beyond a superpower.
Yeah, they're doing more clean energy than any other country right now.
It's beyond.
Yeah, which is good because you can't like breathe in Shenzhen, so
Yeah.
they got just
Well, and it's all at our expense.
yeah.
All right. So
We paid for it,
Yeah,
so good
it's,
for
it's
them.
the monster we bred.
Yeah, it really is.
well, luckily
And
we
continue to breed.
So we got our boy, our famous spicy boy from Pink Floyd, David Gilmour. Super
Oh, it's my
spicy
spicy boy. Spicy boy Dave.
I like it.
He actually auctioned off 126 guitars to raise money for climate change, and raised $21 million.
Good for him. Damn.
Most notably, the highest guitar sold for $4 million, and it was the
it
one.
that black Strat?
It was.
I
And they called
called
it.
You nailed it. Yes. That a boy.
What's up?
It was the black Strat
was
used to
great.
record "Comfortably Numb."
Yeah.
Yes.
Shine On You Crazy Diamond and Money.
Probably top 3 best Floyd
Does it
songs
say
ever.
that guitar's name? I wish I remembered it. It has a name.
No,
Yeah,
it just
call it
says
Comfortably
it
Numb.
just says the iconic black
Maybe he didn't
Stratocaster.
name it.
Maybe you named it, and you can call it whatever you want. So, but that's, I mean,
Doesn't he look like a cool wizard now?
He is
he
a
does
wizard.
look like he does look like a crazy wizard.
He's amazing.
Hey, other celeb news, Jack White doesn't use a cell phone.
I know, I love that.
That's another Andrew Kerfoot scoop.
He definitely
Jay-Bird
seems like
posted
the
it,
guy who would never own a cell phone, who like never
Right?
needed to.
He used to
He doesn't
make,
need nor want to.
when he had an upholstery business, he would make invoices in crayon.
Nice. That's a good move.
So Jack White of him.
Yeah.
He's literally one of my favorite people.
Yeah, if you didn't learn something in this episode, play it over again for your friends, because
Yeah.
they'll teach you something you missed.
Or your pets.
That's
They'll
right.
also teach you something.
Yeah,
you missed.
feed those kittens good.
Yeah. So this is one I wanted to.
No, do not feed the kittens. No.
Do it.
At least we know what you stand on. At least
Do
I got an
it.
opinion out of
No, that is not what you're supposed to
you. You're
do.
clearly against it. Now
Give
we
it to
know.
other mothers who can't breastfeed, not kittens.
All right. So this is a psychology article.
Make a little adjustment now.
Yeah.
Now my nipples itch is what's going on. Just trying to discreetly handle
It's
that.
because it's called cat scratch fever.
No nipples on
Yeah.
Twitch, you guys. You know Twitch has a nipple detection algorithm? I bring it up every time.
Yeah.
I'm so amazed by it.
Quit it. You
So-
really?
Yes, for sure.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
you
I
can't
had
even
no
fla-
idea.
you can't even like
your
flash a
stream
nip.
gets cut off in progress.
You can't even like hold up a picture of a nipple.
For sure.
It's out.
Yeah. It just
Oh.
picks it up and you're done. So anyway,
so all
so this
nipples
is,
are the same.
Yeah,
They're
it's
all
true.
created equal.
It's true. Unlike people, apparently.
Yeah.
Right.
Good point.
Depending on which governmental structure you live under.
I'm sure they're eating Chick-fil-A right now.
Hopefully. We can only hope. All right. So this
Kittens like Chick-fil-A.
So this is a psychological research, but it's about the idea of like people feeling unfulfilled in their life, because I'm sure we all have a lot of goals or things we think kind of fleetingly. They're like, oh, I want to do that. Like, it would be awesome to do this thing. Like, you know, if you're whatever it is, write a book or climb Mount Everest, or, you know, any aspirations that a human can come up with. But a lot of times those can become depressing because we bite off more than we can chew. So a lot of the times, I don't know, I'm like that. I'm sure a lot of people are like that. And it ends up being kind of depressing because you're like, oh, I always wanted to do this thing. Life gets in the way. I don't have time for this hobby, you know, whatever. And it's just about like obsessing about not doing a thing isn't really helpful. If you can't do anything about it, why worry about it? Which is like an old, I guess, like
true.
Buddhist idea too.
How to
why-
Stop Worrying and Start Living by it's the dude that did How to Win Friends and Influence People, Carnegie. There's
Yeah,
a
yeah,
Carnegie
yeah.
book called How to Stop Worrying and Start Living. That's like the main point of it. It's a
Yeah.
bunch of stories that are examples of that.
Yeah. And it's yeah, I mean, it's like I think in Buddhism it's just like worrying is the least productive human activity. Because if you're worrying about it, it's probably the case that you can't do anything about it immediately. And if you can do something about it immediately, you should just do that to stop worrying about it.
Right.
Or otherwise just accept that you want to worry about it and keep worrying about it.
Embrace that.
But the
It's
overall
bad for your heart, folks. Let her go.
The overall idea is like, don't be so fucking hard on yourself, man.
Yeah.
We're all people. Life throws a lot of shit at us. And it's not always easy, and we don't always have time to do the things we want to do. But if you really want to do it, make a plan and try to follow it. And if you fall off, just hop back on the old bicycle. Keep riding.
Is this like a beautiful closing thought that you're giving us?
Chop,
I guess
wood,
so,
baby.
yeah.
That's nice. Dude, we've got some Power Greg hosting this episode.
It's really
I think this
nice.
is like a Power Greg episode. Yeah, that's that submarine of knowledge coming to pick you up, take you back to your bus stop?
Yeah.
Submarine bus stop?
Yeah, back to
Well,
your
I'm
submarine
ready for the
stop.
submarine Uber to come and pick me up, so
Ah.
I don't gotta drive nowhere.
Yeah, that's a good move.
Mm-hmm.
Or Lyft, you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lyft is
Yeah.
what's up.
For sure.
All right. Is this all we've done?
Is this all we've done? Which is literally the name of this song. If you want to look up our first album as a band, Crazy Conversation, We're actually using music that we made as a band right here. I think you know that already.
Yeah.
Stay tuned to RadioVegas.rocks. There's going to be more awesome content. Even though the next show is dark this time, it's an awesome show, and you can check out past episodes at twocluelessdudes.com. Highly recommend. They let me produce them, so I've got a vested interest in their well-being. And, of course, the other cool shows I mentioned, just check out the schedule page on RadioVegas.rocks. And don't forget to get the app. It's not going to be bad for you. We have it on our phones, and nothing bad happened to us, I promise. You know I'm really anal about stuff like that. I haven't gotten any frustrating notifications or nothing. I'm registered with it, and I can't win the Aerosmith tickets. So I'm counting on you. I'm counting on all you guys to win these Aerosmith tickets.
And tell us about it.
Tell us about it. That's right. Tune in and stay tuned and never untune.
And I'll see you Saturdays. 4 p.m.
Saturdays at 4 p.m. Faded and Elevated.